Hello, my Transformers, and welcome. We are here for our Facebook Live Thursday, and here's what I want to talk about today: why safe may not really be so safe. So, I want you to notice in your own life how you are playing it safe. It could look like staying in relationships that are toxic but predictable and therefore comfortable. It could be remaining in a job that provides you a consistent wage, even though you're miserable. You talk about reinventing your life and going after your dreams, only to go running back to what is familiar the moment things feel uncomfortable. And the truth is that as humans, we tend to gravitate toward the safe route. And we don't always stop to consider that safe might actually be more risky over time. I really want you to get that. We don't stop and realize that safe can actually be more risky over time to our health, to our dreams, to our emotional well being. So today, let's look at why the safe choice isn't actually as safe as you think. So, if you've been wanting to break free from your little comfort cocoon but haven't known how, you're in the right place. So, again, when we gravitate toward safety, it's about looking for certainty. It's about looking for a guarantee. It's about knowing an outcome. And the first thing I'll say about this is when we are willing to open ourselves up to being uncertain, to not knowing, the not knowing is actually where our opportunity is born. So, not in the not knowing is where more options become available to us than we previously anticipated. So, we know what we know. And so, in the unknown, opportunity and possibility are born. And that's where our resilience is strengthened, our resourcefulness is strengthened. But we all know the experience of sort of going out on a limb and not letting go of that limb to fully jump to the other side. Instead, we want to stay with what is familiar, even when the familiar is painful. So I just want you to take a little sort of inventory in your own life right now. Where are you staying safe in something that's familiar but causing you pain? And again, this can show up in our relationships, this shows up in our work life, this shows up in all areas of our life, because essentially it's a domino effect. We experience something in one area of our life, and it's likely a microcosm of a macrocosm of the whole. So notice the ways in which you are staying in the familiar simply because it's known, it's predictable, and yet it's actually the very thing holding you back from growing and changing and evolving. So this is why safe isn't actually so safe. I in my book Jump and Your Life Will Appear, I talk about taking the easy way out, and how the easy way out is going to bite it's going to bite you in the ass in the end. So you might think you're doing something that's easy. You might think you're taking a choice that is more familiar. But the longer you go without making the changes in your life that you want to make, the more you convince yourself, the more you rationalize or justify staying right where you are. The more you rationalize and justify staying right where you are, the more you convince yourself that it's not worth the risk, that it's not worth jeopardizing what you do have in order to have something else or to have even more. And so we get into this place where we're constantly weighing, is what I have good enough? And the question I want you to ask yourself is, what would it take to really lean into having everything I want, having it be in the fullness, having it be beyond great, not just good enough, not just something that I have to endure or have stamina around, but instead something that I'm actually excited and lit up by, whether it is work in the world, relationships, whatever it might be, your relationship with yourself. So how are you playing it safe in all of these areas? How are you playing it safe around your own boundaries? Are you recognizing your own limits? Are you crossing your boundary by saying yes when you want to say no? Are you crossing your boundary by keeping the peace, which is staying safe? Are you crossing your boundary by avoiding any kind of conflict or confrontation? Are you crossing your boundary and staying safe by trying to maintain harmony at all cost? So again, I want you to remember that when you maintain harmony at all cost, it comes at a very high cost. And it comes at a really high cost to you. So we want to start looking at, how do we branch out and take what I would even say is a calculated risk? What is a calculated risk to move me out of some place where I'm feeling comfortable but dissatisfied into a place where I can actually feel exhilarated and propelled into having more meaning? So I will be the first one to say, I actually think that safety is a myth. You know, safety and security, I know for myself, and I talk to clients all the time, who think, okay, marriage is safety and security. And yet I got divorced. How is that safe or secure? So I think that the safety and security that we're seeking in something external, relationship, career, whatever it might be, is a safety and security that first needs to be initiated from within. How do I create a scenario where I'm safe and secure regardless of what's happening outside around me? And this is a really important way to start taking responsibility for our own lives, so that we don't keep ourselves in the place of feeling like a victim or placing blame, but we're actually able to put ourselves in the place of responsibility and empowerment. So we want to be able to move into not taking the easy way out, not playing it safe, but being willing to, color outside the lines, so to speak, to take a risk, to take a chance, to put our intention and attention and energy into something new, even if it's unfamiliar, simply based on the idea that it's something that we feel passionate about. This is why the concept of reinvention with intention that I've been talking about is so near and dear to my heart. It's about that deliberate approach to reinventing your life intentionally. So if you have not yet downloaded my latest freebie, I'm just going to pop it in here, nancylevin.com/reinvent. You can grab the new freebie right there, and you can join me in my pop-up Facebook group, Reinvent with Intent. But you can grab that freebie if you haven't already. I highly suggest that you do. And I'm excited to announce that next week when we're on Facebook Live, I will have a brand new free masterclass that I will be inviting you to. You'll find out about it first in the next few days, probably this weekend. But I'm going to be sharing a brand new free masterclass that I'd love for you to participate in. It's all about the reinvention. It's all about the surprising secrets that life coaches know that you need to know too in order to transform your life on your terms and be a catalyst to support others in transforming theirs. All right, my loves, so happy to be with you today as always. Thank you to those of you who are joining me live. If you're catching the replay, feel free to leave me a comment, and we'll be back together again next week.